Hey friends, good morning. Heidi Mitro here, and welcome to When You Lead Live. You made it. I'm glad you're here. If you are joining me on a platform where you can leave me a comment, please do so. Let me know that you're here. If you have questions, feel free to leave them in the comments as well. I will return after the show to answer any questions or comments. So, we took a little break last week. It was Thanksgiving here in the US. Also a National Day of Mourning. We need to acknowledge that as well. And this time of year is very interesting. So we are headed into the holiday season. We are headed into a lot of expectation, a lot of family time, a lot of emotion. And last week, full disclosure, we had a sabbatical week here at When You Lead, and it was one of the most profound breaks that I have ever had. The amount of purging that we did as a family, the amount of emotional release that I did personally, the amount of clarity that has come in for my business. It was a really great reminder for me to take intentional breaks. Good morning. Hello. It was really a great reminder that I want and crave that creative time. And I get up between 4:30 and 5 every day. That is a sacred time. I have not always been this way, by the way. I was an absolute night owl growing up. I was an absolute night owl in college. Really having children, tips that balance. But being this morning person now, and it's not even morning. It's not even the time. It's the energy of that time of day where it's very inky. The morning time before my phone is on, before anyone is up in my home. It's a really saturated energy. And part of what I do during this morning spaciousness is I write, and I write a lot. And a gratitude journal has been a part of my life for a really long time. Now, bear with me because today's show is all about shoulds. And you have probably been told that you should have a gratitude journal. I am not going to tell you that. I am done. I am done with the shoulds. And you don't have to have a gratitude journal if you don't want. I love mine. I go in streaks where I am furiously writing in it, and I other times have a challenge coming up with some things that I'm grateful for. So this show is not that you should have a gratitude journal. What it is about is that there's a lot of trends and fads and things that they're becoming status quo inside of the spiritual community, right? Where it's like, you should get up at 5 in the morning, right? And you should have a gratitude journal, and you should drink water, and you should, eat organically, and you should take your vitamins, and you should lift and work out, and you should do all of these things. And okay, try it, see if you like it, right? But what we're going to be talking about today is, where do these shoulds even come from? Where does the status quo come from? And who says? If you get nothing else from this episode, can you please write down who said? Legit. Because so often the shoulds that are running our lives, we have no idea where they came from. Zero. None. Who told you that you needed to drink water? Maybe your doctor did. Maybe a health coach told you to do that. Maybe someone, with good intentions did. There's so many different reasons, yes, that you should absolutely be drinking water. I'll tell you what doesn't help you drink water. Telling yourself that you should. Who told you that you should have a gratitude journal? Who told you that you should do all of these things? Who said? And when we dial into who said, it's really interesting because most of the time you have no idea. Or it's from someone that you don't know, or it was an article that you Googled online, or on and on and on. So headed into the new year, this is a dicey time for the women in my community. This is a dicey time for women in general, because we just finished with a holiday where, you might have been the one that was doing all the primary cooking. Maybe you were hosting at your house. Maybe you're reconciling the fact that you don't actually want to celebrate Thanksgiving, that it actually is a day of mourning. Maybe things have shifted since COVID. And now we're headed into this holiday season, and you know you're the keeper of the traditions. You know that you are the ones that are trying to figure out how to be perfect next year, right? You're headed into New Year's resolution time. This time of year, I want to support you really fully. And one of the ways that I want to support you is by letting you ditch the shoulds. Screw them. We're not doing them. I would love for you to make your shoulds conscious. Most of the time, your shoulds are running your day and you have no idea. And the purpose of the show is really to start challenging the status quo, and the status quo culturally, but the status quo in your individual life. We want to go micro and macro. I want you to write down the shoulds that are running your life. And the most annoying ones, the most status quo crap that I just get so irritated with is I should lose weight. I should make more money. I should be a better parent. I should be a better partner. I should be, this, that, the other thing. So we're going to dissect this word. Yes, we are. And then I'm going to give you a solution, because we have to name this problem. We have to get some spaciousness in it. We have to air it out in order to know what we're actually dealing with. So of course I have all the etymology of the words, because that's how I roll. Welcome to all of you joining. That's so fun. I'm glad you're here. Let me know what's landing, by the way. And I get a little hot, so I have my notes to hold me in place here. So, should. Of course, it's Old English. What's not? The etymology, meaning the origin of the word, is you ought to or you must. That's the etymology of the word should. Here's the kicker. Please write this down. This is also related to the Old English word for guilt. Skilt, I think is how you say it. Guilt. We've done an episode on guilt, when you lead with guilt. This episode is called When You Lead with Should. Remember that the etymology of the word guilt goes all the way back to the word crime. That is a feeling when you have to do something, when you ought to do it. If you don't do it, you're going to feel guilty. Feel how it feels in your body right now. It makes my face go like this. Screw you. It makes me want to swear. I'm trying to rein in some of my cursing on some of these platforms. No, I am so tired of the physiology of guilt. I am so tired of that feeling like I'm always doing something wrong. Anybody else done with feeling like you woke up and you were wrong? We're not doing that anymore. Shoulds are invoking this feeling of guilt. And I will argue that most women are not actually feeling guilt, but they're feeling shame. Guilt is, I did something wrong. Shame is I am wrong. And I really genuinely believe that most women are running their shoulds from a place of shame. Ain't nothing good gonna happen from that. Ooh, I'm getting choked up. Shame. Oof. I'm totally speaking truth. I worked through the next level of shame in my own personal life last week, and it took me by surprise, because I spent the first part of the week with my partner Mike. Our kiddos were still in school, and we got to the depths of purging, where it was under the stairs and in the utility room and in the garage. We went for it. And when all of the spaciousness was available to me, shame showed up. Now, there's a couple of theories that I have about this. One is that there was so much room that this thing that had been driving a couple of areas of my life finally had the space to come home and say, Heidi, I need your attention. It's time to heal this part. And I did. I worked with that part of shame. The other part, I think, is an upper limit that I'm working through. That's from The Big Leap. You should take a look at that book if you don't have it. I'm done having my life ruled by shoulds. I'm done having my life ruled by guilt and shame. It doesn't mean that I don't experience it, but I don't want to lead with that. What I want to lead with is compassion. What I want to lead with is congruency with my purpose. What I want to lead with, what I want to embody, are my core values of connection and collaboration and freedom and abundance and luxury. That's what I want to build around. If you are building your life around shoulds and guilt and shame, why are you surprised that you feel like crap all the time? Now, this is not not trying to call you out in a way of like, why are you doing that? I want to call you in and expose this and put light on it and bring it to consciousness so you can change it. Because we're headed into the season where you feel like you're going to have to overhaul your life. Once January 1 hits, now I'm on the diet. Now I'm never going to spend money again. Now I'm going to get a new job. Now I'm going to get a new partner. Now my kids are only going to eat vegetables. It's not going to happen. Please stop lying to yourself. Guilt and shame are liars. Guilt and shame are liars. Don't let them make a liar out of you. Let's just be honest about where our shoulds are coming from. Sometimes we have no idea. We are running the programming of our culture and claiming it as our own. Stop it, right? So as I'm looking at one of the ways to shift, here's what I have learned is that when you're in guilt or shame, or when you have a bad feeling, the spiritual culture of our world right now is going to tell you that you need to be more grateful. In order for you to shift from those negative feelings, one solution is gratitude, which oftentimes just adds another should to your list. Gratitude is not the elixir for every damn thing that is going wrong in your life. Do I have a gratitude practice? Yes, I do. Is there room in your life for more gratitude? Probably, but I'm going to give you an alternative. The alternative to gratitude that I want you to actually play with is appreciation. And this is going to dovetail into what's next. This is going to dovetail into what we're doing in December in preparation for the onslaught of New Year's resolutions, which we're not doing. The alternative to gratitude that I want you to start playing with is appreciation. Appreciation is a different animal. Appreciation is a macro. Appreciation is for you to tell the whole truth of something, because most of our shoulds are built on lies. Most of the way that we feel like we're supposed to be in the world, the way that we ought to do it, the way that if we don't do it, we should feel guilty, is based on lies. Appreciation allows you to tell the entire truth of something. And let's be honest, our culture sucks at nuance. Our culture forces you to be either or. Our culture wants you to be at odds with each other. It makes money. It makes very, very wealthy, powerful white men richer and more powerful, and it keeps us divided. I am done. And the first person I have to get congruent with is me. The first person I have to tell the fullness of the truth to is me. And guess what that requires? Appreciation. It requires that I am able to take in the full totality of what is actually happening. And that is not simply, it's not making things simple. It's not making them easily digestible. It's not making them a meme on social media. You are so much more complex than that. There is so much more driving you than you realize. Please, please make more spaciousness for you to hear you. It's one of the reasons I have that morning practice. It is the time where I am just with me. I look forward to it. I can't wait. I don't even wake up to an alarm. I literally wake up to myself between like 4:41 and 4:58. That's like my range every morning. And I can't wait to come out. I come out to my studio and I sit with myself and I listen to myself and I write and I journal and I have a full appreciation of what's happening in my life. And that includes gratitude, but it's not centered on gratitude. If you are having a hard time, if someone has told you to slap gratitude on absolutely everything in your life, you don't have to do that. You absolutely do not have to be grateful for every damn thing that's happened in your life. If there are things that are so hard for you, it's okay to zoom out and appreciate, meaning you can tangibly touch it, you can interact with it. You don't ever have to be grateful for that really bad thing that has happened. You can have an appreciation for how it's infused your life, for the lessons that you've learned, but you don't have to be grateful. This whole Pollyanna bullshit, like you have to be grateful for everything and your life's going to be awesome. Sometimes your life is going to be awesome. Sometimes your life is going to suck. Sometimes you're just going to be in the middle and it's going to feel kind of boring and mundane. Please, can we have more of an appreciation for the vastness that is our life, our lives, right? It's okay for you to have a full experience. But here's what most of us are trying to do. Here's what we feel like we should do, and we have language for it, but it's not it's not adequate. What we're really trying to do is be perfect. Because there is this underlying current. If you resonate with that, you write it down. We're trying to be perfect so that we never have to feel a negative thing. If only I was this weight. If only I had this much money. If only my partnership was like this. If only I had a house that looked like that. If only, if only, if only. And I should be that, because if I was, I'd be perfect and I would never have to experience the terrible feelings of being a human being, which is utter crap. Can we please make peace with the fact that we're going to have ebbs and flows, that there are going to be times where things are going well and times where things are not, and you're going to be learning in both. We are a goal-setting, obsessed culture based on bullshit shoulds. I should do this, and now I'm going to have this goal, but we never talk about what happens in the middle. I should do this is where we begin, and the goal is the end. We goal set, and we will only focus on the outcome. But your life is what's happening in between. Your relationship with yourself is what's happening in between when you set that goal and when you achieve it. And let's be honest, most of the goals that you're setting, you won't achieve. Not because you don't have the desire, not because you don't have the willpower, but because you're starting on faulty ground. Because the goal that you have set, the should goal, is taking you away from yourself. And your system is screaming for you to be congruent with yourself. Your body, your soul, your breath is begging you to come home to itself. And so those goals that are steeped in shoulds, and you're obsessing about that outcome. If I could only get to this outcome, I would be perfect and I would be happy. You are doomed to fail from the beginning. It's a faulty structure. Oh, I'm hot about this. I have to soothe my nervous system. Laughter helps me, by the way, to go, whew. Yeah, I meant every fucking word of that. Beat me out, it's fine. I am done setting goals to overcome crimes. I am done having this feeling like there's something wrong with me, and if only I could get here, I'll be perfect and be okay, and be worthy and lovable and never experience those horrible, soul-wrenching feelings. So what are we going to do instead? What's the alternative? We know this doesn't work. Don't lie to yourself anymore. Please do not begin your year with goals that make you feel badly. Please don't. It's going to start, what are we at? The last week in November. It's going to start. You're going to get the exercise equipment. You're going to get all the gym membership stuff. You're going to get all of the, make sure you do this, that, and the other. Here's your Botox special. Here's all the makeup that you need. Here's all the stuff that you should have so that you're perfect and you never feel bad. It's going to start. I want to steel you against this. I want you to have such a resolve that you say, hell no, status quo. I am not doing that this year. This is what we are doing. We are setting wiser goals. You've heard of SMART goals, right? Many of you have probably heard of this. Maybe you have to do it for your job. Maybe you learned this in a college class that was like a business class or a goal setting class, right? Where you make something, you make a goal and you make it SMART. You make it specific. What is the specific thing that you are trying to achieve? You make it measurable. How are you going to tell if you have gotten there? How are you going to know, right? You want to make it attainable, something you can actually do, something that is relevant to your life and timely. Those are the aspects of SMART goals. I learned this when I was in college, and I've used it incredibly successfully. And when I say successfully, I mean I got the outcome that I was after. And most of the time with those SMART goals, while I got the outcome, I had the emotional baggage to prove it. Because our definition of success in our culture is outcome based. How does it look in a snapshot? right? How does it look in a snapshot? And remember, the outcome of the goal only happens once. You're going to spend the majority of your time striving after a goal. You're going to spend the majority of the time in the middle. And I want you to strive. Yes, I do. There's nothing wrong with excellence. There's nothing wrong with striving. There's nothing wrong with looking at something in your life and going, I want that different. I want to change that. I want to feel better. I want to feel healthy. I want to feel abundant. I want to feel loved. I want to feel sexy. I want to feel empowered. Yes, do that. But the outcome is one day, one moment. You're going to spend the majority of the time in the middle. And once you get to the outcome, you're going to have to go again. So let's come up with a process that actually works. SMART goals will help you white knuckle it to an outcome. SMART goals are usually dependent on someone else's gaze on your goals. SMART goals are usually a way for you to justify to someone else that you did it. I hate that. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for me. And so I've designed a method. It's called the Wiser Method, and I'm teaching it in December. We start this Thursday at 11 Central, and we're going to go the next 3 Thursdays, 90 minutes. I want you there. You can go to HeidiMitro.com to register, okay? This is a paid course. This course will change your life, and I say that with all of the drama that that's intended with. This method, the Wiser Method, is going to teach you how to begin a goal that doesn't make you feel like shit. It's going to provide you with a vehicle for this middle striving section, and it's going to redefine the outcome that you're actually after. Because you're not after the loss of the weight. You're not actually after the money. You're not actually after the house or the job. There's a bigger need there, and we have to talk about that. You set goals because there are inherent needs that you want. But if that need begins with the fact that there's something wrong with you, that you are already a failure, that you are guilty, that you should be ashamed of yourself, that you should do this, if you begin there, my promise to you is even if you achieve that outcome, you will have failed. You will have failed yourself. You will have failed your purpose. You will have gone against yourself. You will have crossed your own boundaries. And that to me is a tragedy. It is a tragedy. I am so done with women feeling bad about themselves. It's a chronic problem. And we have industries that are trying to tell you all the time, there's something wrong with you and I have the solution. I am diametrically opposed to that. Here's what I do as a coach. There's everything right with you. Here's the mindset, the tool set, and the skill set for you to realize it. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. When You Lead, the coaching program inside of the inner circle is all about you remembering. It's all about you accessing what is right about you. That you are purpose. What are those core values? Not your should values. I should be on time. I should be a good person. I should be responsible. No more goals with should values. What are your core values? Inside of When You Lead, what we talk about is when you lead with your purpose, when you lead with your boundaries, when you lead with those values. And how do you move through the world differently? We bridge the body, mind, and the breath. And we heal this relationship between you and yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. Please stop setting goals so that the flawed version of you feels a little less bad. You're doomed from the start. What happens when you have wiser goals? When you have goals that help you to express who you are instead of proving who you're not? What happens when you have goals that allow you to be free? What happens when you are working and healing and striving inside? What happens when you disconnect your worth from the status quo? What happens, especially inside of our community, is that you're going to watch other women doing this work as well. There's so much power in community. There's so much power in watching women set goals and achieve them. And the one person who has won is them. They get to win. And the ripple effect of watching women be congruent, I cannot state that enough. I cannot state the magnitude and the empowerment that comes when you watch women get congruent with themselves. The inner circle is now open for you. We have a new season starting in January. This is not a solution because you are broken. This is an opportunity for you to have a 6-month journey with a community of women who are doing the work that you are doing, so that you can make peace with who you are, so that you can learn the mindset, the skill set, and the tool set, so you can learn the physiology of who you actually are, which is divine and sacred and human. So I've got 2 opportunities for you. One is to come to this Wiser series. You go to HeidiMitro.com, come to the Wiser Method. 3 classes over the next 3 weeks. I promise you, you will head into 23 with an exhale. I promise you that you're going to meet women in this community that will change your life. The caliber of women that, and we've got some newbies coming in that are like, it is such confirmation that I'm on the right track professionally and personally. It is a thrill. It's like, I could bawl about it right now. And we've got room inside the inner circle for you. We do. If you tune in on Tuesdays to get this reframe, to get a different lens, imagine what can happen when we work together. Imagine what can happen when you're in a community and you're listening to other women's stories and you're like, I understand. Oh, that makes sense to me. Imagine what could happen when you are not in a codependent relationship with friends and colleagues. Imagine what happens when you stand on your own 2 feet and you are supported and you are also reflected back to yourself. What might be possible for you if you actually begin the year supported versus with this feeling of panic? What would happen if you have accountability friends? What would happen if you had this method that you could reuse over and over and over? One of my commitments, because it's my biggest beef with the coaching industry, I want you to have these tools that you can use for the rest of your life. I want you to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So this is what my clients will say to me. I have this inner Heidi in my head. It's like, okay, what would Heidi do? Okay, this is the tool that she would say. I should use the PMS method. I should use this method. I should use this. Come and learn the methods. Come and learn how to be human instead of the striving perfectionist who's doomed to fail. What would happen if you began the year with a method that actually made you feel empowered? What would happen? You can go to HeidiMitro.com to learn more about the Wiser Method and enroll. You can also book a call with me to learn more about the inner circle. I would love to share that with you. It's time. It is. Okay? I want to know what your key takeaway is. Maybe your top 3 key takeaways. I kind of went to church here. So I'm curious what you heard. I have to go watch this back to see if I covered everything I meant to. But we start this Thursday at 11 Central. Get yourself registered. Right? I'll see you Thursday, but I am so curious what you learned from today. So I'll see you next week. We've got a couple more episodes between now and the end of the year. All of the episodes are designed to help you really navigate through this tricky time of year where you are told so much of how you shouldn't be. It's okay for you to say no to that. It's okay for you to say, hell no, status quo, and go within. It's okay for you to do that. It's imperative, actually. So I hope I see you Thursday. I will see you for sure next week. Be kind to yourselves. Okay? Take care.